Hey guys, welcome to Operation Crypto. I think it's time we did an update on Veracity. It's been a minute since we took a look at this asset, and not much changed other than the fact that we have hit those buy zones, which I did mention probably in a previous video, whether that's a few weeks ago or probably towards the end of last year. We did highlight this big green band of resistance down here. If you look, it was the support region, which we used to go on to those all-time highs. And then it's come back and it's done a full retracement of that entire move. Now, as you can see, we had a few wicks below this fib level, which was the start of a move, but we've had no closures, which is, you could say, a bit of a bullish sign. So let's get rid of that Fibonacci now, because that is now finished with. And over the grand scheme of things, over the bigger picture, we're having a downtrend. It's a big downtrend, and that ultimately has been forced, really. I mean, the asset was performing well until we had that shakeout on Bitcoin, which has sent a little bit of turmoil throughout the markets. But I say this with all assets, especially the decent ones, that if you are down or underwater, do not worry about it, because the fundamentals on Veracity really stack up. I think this is a gem which is just waiting for that major long-term growth. I see a lot of people talking about Veracity, and personally I think I should talk about it more, because I like the asset, I like what we're trying to achieve, and some of the partnerships they've got is really, really good. So few things to point. So this is the area where I think is a solid area to buy. It's currently down at 0.026, so you're talking just over 2.5 cents per Veracity token. It's a decent level. In the past, it's been a key area here in March 21, where we rejected. We then used it as support back in April, resistance, and then support before we had that major move up to all-time highs, which I'll mark that up now. So the all-time highs is at 8.7 cents. If we need to get back up towards those levels and you manage to buy up there and you're down quite a significant amount, we're talking we needed 226 rally in the future to get back above that water and get back above that area, which will happen. Do not think anything other than it will happen. I mean, if you are slightly underwater in investment, dollar cost average down and just keep buying down. Personally, I don't think we're going to drop much lower on this. I mean, we're currently at 2.6 cents. I think if you're looking for some buy odds, potentially 2.2 cents, and maybe if we come down and test those wicks again. But I feel like we're on a massive area of support here. And personally, if we did lose that level, then you're going to come down and test these wicks here, and which is confluent with that and confluent with that area. So you're talking 1.7 cents, but I don't foresee that happening unless the King Bitcoin does drop down towards that 32 to 36k support region. If that did happen, ultimately it would drag the rest of the market down, and that's just something that we have to take it for what it is. We can't help the fact that Bitcoin rules a roost, and whichever way that's going, the market does tend to follow it. Some assets can pop off and some assets can drop at a certain amount of times, but usually if Bitcoin's pumping, the rest of the market's pumping and vice versa. Currently the market's going sideways, and you can see we're just in a big area of liquidity here. Looking at the moving average, so I use the 50 and the 20. We've had that bearish cross. Remember, these bearish crosses are the lagging indicators. For example, we had a bullish cross back in August, and then we didn't reach highs up until you're talking November. And then we've had that bearish cross on the 2nd of December, but the bearish price action started when we did hit those highs probably 5 to 6 weeks prior. So what we're looking for is some nice steady growth along here. Now we're looking to we need to get out of this downtrend that we are forming. We've rejected off it here, and here, and then several candles are rejecting off it currently. We do need to break above this trend line, and then we need to get back above these moving averages. So the first thing we need to do is get back above this 20 at 3 cents. Use these as accumulation points. So look at 3 cents and then look at 3.6 cents. Those are the first two areas that you probably should look to take a little bit of profit off. But for any bullish sort of price action, we need to get out of this downtrend and then get some candles trading above this moving average 50. Once you do manage to get a few candles above here and we start trading up, you will start to see these moving averages come round and get a bit of a crossover. So that's the areas I would buy down here. We're talking 2.5 cents. Areas to look to accumulate, we've got these two EMAs that you can use to take profit, but the first major level I can see if you're looking to take profit, I mean, you've got these 2 wicks here, if you drag it all the way through, we nearly caught her at one. And if you drag it right through, it was a pico of that move as well. So you could say that's a first decent area around 4.67, where you should be taking a decent amount of profit. What you do with that profit is up to you. If you reinvest it lower, so accumulation, if you look to sell it at 4.6 cent, then potentially use these moving averages to buy back in. So this could be up here around 3.7 cent. So that could be an area where you do potentially take profit. But that's the first major area there. And then above that, to be honest, we've not got much trading data. We've got data from October until November. You're talking, what's that, 4 or 5 weeks worth of data above this region here. So once we do get booked above 4.7 cent, flip that 5 cent psychological area to support, then I think the all-time highs will come fairly quick. No price predictions. I think all-time highs will be beaten this year. It's definitely going to be a 10 cent asset potentially this year. So yeah, that's the areas to buy, areas to sell. Just looking at the 200 daily moving average, yeah, we are below that now. So for any type of uptrend, we need to get back above this area here. You're talking 4 cent. Once we break above 4 cent, I think the rest of the market will follow and we'll start to get some nice growth across the board. Let's just take a quick look at, see if we've got any, the BTC pair. Not many people trading Satoshis, and we've got a lot of noise going here. Let's get rid of all that. So yeah, again, bearish cross back on the 4th of December, price action coming down. We've retested these moving averages a few times, rejected off at 50, and we are actually below the 200 daily moving average. We need to get back above that. But personally, I think it's going to be a bit of downward pressure on the Satoshi pairs. I mean, I think there's a good chance if you're looking for some orders filled. Look at this top here, goes all the way through and it hits there. So I think that Bitcoin personally is going to go on a rally quite soon. Fingers crossed. And if it does, if Bitcoin starts to regain some market dominance, ultimately the Satoshi pairs on altcoins will start to dwindle. So if you're looking for some buys, I don't want to sound too bearish, but look at this region down here as well. What I would do is ladder some in from around 5,700 Satoshis down to this area here. It goes all the way through. So that's around 4,000 sats. Yeah, 3,900, 4,000 sats. Maybe a ladder a few orders in between that area. And I think you will get some rows filled. That depends on Bitcoin. Like everything, if Bitcoin does start to drop down, if Bitcoin starts to drop up and the dominance starts to drop down, then you're going to get some orders filled on them pairs. If Bitcoin stays sideways forever, then alts start to use this base as a platform. I mean, you're looking up at these wicks here to start taking some profit around, I mean, that's close to 10,000 sats, so use those areas too. But we're not going to dive into that because not too many people these days trade altcoins in Bitcoin. It's a bit of a thing of the past. When I first started trading, all you could do was trade cryptocurrency on the BTC pair. So mostly it's used US dollars. It is quite easy to navigate through the dollar pairings these days. So that's going to do it. That's my thoughts on Veracity. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Check out my Patreon. There's a link for that in the pinned comment in the description. And I'll catch you next time.